They say men are strong. They say men don't cry. They say men don't break. But that's a lie. Behind that silence, behind that blank stare, behind that so-called strength is a storm no one talks about. And every woman who thinks she understands men needs to hear this. Because this is the side no one shows you. Most men are not the superheroes you imagine them to be. They're not made of stone. They're not built to carry the world forever. But they've been told they have to. Since they were boys, they've been trained to be silent, to be tough, to never show weakness. And that training, it's killing them inside. You might see confidence. You might see calm. But what you don't see is the fear, the rejection, the pressure, the loneliness. Here's the truth. Every man has a side he's scared to show you. Not because he doesn't trust you, but because he doesn't trust the world. He's been rejected for being too soft, judged for being too emotional, mocked for not being man enough. So what does he do? He hides. He builds walls. He plays the roles society gave him, and he suffers in silence. You wonder why he doesn't talk, why he pulls away, why he shuts down when things get real. It's not because he doesn't care. It's because he's terrified. Terrified that if he lets you in, you'll see the parts he hates, the parts he's buried, the parts that make him feel unlovable. Let me tell you something most women don't realize. Men crave emotional safety just as much as women do. Maybe even more, but they rarely get it. Most men have no space to express, no one to cry with, no one to say you're enough. So they armor up, they smile, they work harder, they joke around. But deep down, they're asking themselves, would she still love me if she saw the real me? And the answer, too often, is no. That's why this conversation matters. Because it's not about coddling men. It's about understanding them. It's about recognizing that strength is not the absence of weakness. It's the courage to face it. And every woman who truly wants to connect with a man must see what's behind the mask. So what are men really struggling with? Let's talk about emotional sensitivity. Yes, men feel things deeply, but they've been told to hide it. So when you say something that cuts, he won't always fight back. He'll go silent. And that silence, that's pain. That's confusion. That's a boy who was told to be a man before he knew what manhood meant. And then there's rejection. You think he doesn't care. You think he's confident. But most men walk around afraid, afraid they'll never be good enough, afraid that no matter what they do, it won't be enough for you. And when they feel rejected, it doesn't just hurt, it destroys them. There's also the pressure to perform, to succeed, to provide, to always have it together. And when they don't, they feel like failures, not just in your eyes, but in their own. Even if you never say a word, he's already judging himself. He's already feeling shame because he was taught that a real man never falls, never breaks, never cries. And so when he does, he hides it from you, from the world, from himself. But here's the thing. Behind every withdrawn man is a history of being misunderstood. Behind every angry outburst is a pile of unspoken fears. Behind every "I'm fine" is a storm waiting to be acknowledged. And most men, they've been waiting their whole lives for someone to see them, not just the surface, but the soul. What would happen if, just for once, you said, I see you. You don't have to pretend with me. What would change if you stopped expecting him to be the rock and started being the river? Soft, patient, flowing with understanding. Because when a man feels emotionally safe, when he feels truly seen, he transforms. He opens. He loves harder. He trusts deeper. He commits fully. Not because he has to, but because he finally feels like he can. And that's the secret most women miss. Not because they're cold, but because no one taught them either. Relationships break not because of lack of love, but because of lack of understanding. Because we expect each other to read minds. Because we think pain looks the same for everyone. But it doesn't. For men, pain wears armor. For men, sadness looks like silence. For men, fear looks like pride. But if you look close enough, you'll see it. He doesn't need fixing. He needs understanding. He doesn't need you to complete him. He needs you to accept him. And if you do, you unlock a kind of love that doesn't fade, a connection that doesn't break, a trust that doesn't need words. So ask him what he's scared to tell you. Sit with his silence without rushing to fill it. Listen, not just to his words, but to his pauses, his breath, his eyes. They speak louder than anything he'll ever say. And to every woman watching this, don't settle for surface level love. You deserve depth, and so does he. But that depth begins with you seeing him. Not the mask, not the role, but the man, the boy, the soul underneath. Let this be your reminder. The strongest men you know might be the ones breaking silently. And your presence, your patience, your empathy, that could be the lifeline they never had. So if this message stirred something in you, don't let it fade. Share it. Comment below and tell me on how emotional intelligence can transform your relationship forever. This is the conversation the world been avoiding for too long. But not anymore.